Hi everyone and welcome to English 328 Online. I'm Steve Krause. I'm going to be the person teaching this class. And what I wanted to do in this brief video is just introduce myself, introduce the class, and invite you to underneath here in the comments introduce yourself too. What I'm going to do right now is I'm looking at the EMU Online course shell, but I'm looking at the syllabus and through the schedule, and I'm just going to talk through a couple of highlights. You can read, so you should read all this stuff, but I just want to emphasize a few things. At the beginning is the contact information for me. The easiest way to get a hold of me by far is by email, and I'm not going to be holding regular office hours the second part of this for this part of the summer. So don't expect to just drop by my office and see me there. The course is an interesting one that's changed and evolved in a bunch of different ways, but basically, as it says in the description, it's about the connections between style and technology, with a pretty heavy emphasis on this idea of what is style. And we'll start by talking about that with the Greeks and Romans. We'll talk about it with style manuals. We'll talk about it in relationship to genre. You'll get the idea as we go along. Some things that you need to get in terms of reading. The first one is this, Strunk and White's The Elements of Style, classic little book, very, very skinny. If you are trying to save a little bit of money, you can oftentimes pick this up in the used bookstore for almost nothing, or on Amazon for literally like cents. If you want to try to save a little bit more money, you can try to get the older version. This is sort of a, I don't know what you'd call it, peach colored version of the book. Just make sure you get one that's. There's also an illustrated version of Strunk and White. You're free to get that one too. Just make sure you get one that's both Strunk and White. It's called The Elements of Style. The other one is this book, Joseph Williams, Style Toward Clarity and Grace. Not to be confused with the textbook he has of a similar title. This is it's a yellow book, and it's a trade book, which means you can get it in most normal bookstores, and it should cost you less than about 15 bucks. Okay, so those are the books that you need to get. Everything else is available through e-reserves and online and other things like that. Now, the other big thing that I want to highlight in the class has to do with online attendance and the problems or challenges of the accelerated format. So let me first dwell on the online thing, and hopefully many of you have taken online classes before, but an online class is a lot like buying a exercise bike or a treadmill. People start getting these things with the best of intentions, but if you don't have the discipline to use it on a daily basis or a regular basis or whatever, pretty soon that piece of exercise equipment gets shoved further and further in the corner and you start piling laundry on it. Well, an online class is a lot like that in the sense that it has a lot of advantages. I mean, it's convenient. You can do it whenever you want in terms of time, although you'll see with the schedule here, there's within particular framework of when you can do it. You can do it from wherever. You can be traveling, which is great for the summer, things like that. But the thing is that you have to be self-disciplined enough to check in with the course on a really regular basis, and that speaks to the accelerated format. Because everybody sees the class as being 7.5 weeks long, they think that it's shorter. But that's not really true. It's just faster. So when we look at the schedule, you'll see what I mean. Literally what I did is I took the 15-week version of this class and I condensed it into 7.5 weeks. So everything moves twice as fast, and that's a lot of stuff. So I explained the implications about online attendance on the syllabus, but basically, if you are gone, if you're absent, don't participate at all in the class forums or discussions 2 times between either Monday and Wednesday and Friday, I will deduct 30% of your participation grade, which is usually about a letter's grade for the course. If you're gone 3 times, and if you think about this for a second, that would be the equivalent of a normal semester being gone for 3 weeks total of class. I'll deduct 150% of your participation grade and you won't be able to pass the course. Under no circumstances is a lack of internet access or a problem with the computer a viable excuse. So for example, if you're planning a trip in July or August that's going to take you away from internet access for a week or 2, I would strongly urge you to think about taking this class in a different semester because you're liable to have a participation problem. Okay, so read through all that. Beyond that, the other terms of online participation, what I'm talking about in terms of attendance is just being there, but doing well with participation includes things like participating actively in the discussion forums, participating in peer review. We'll be doing a fair amount of that this semester, learning about new technologies and so forth. Okay. The next part of the syllabus is that everybody will be keeping a blog this semester, but it's a little bit different of a blog than you might be thinking of that you've maybe either done for other classes or maybe keep on your own. Rather, it's more of a set of series of short essay assignments that I'll be giving you throughout the course of the semester. If you look on the class EMU online, you look under it says blog response prompts, you'll see what I mean. Those are the prompts that you'll each be writing about. There's about 2 of these prompts per week. Sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less, depending on how the course syllabus is coming together. But the most important thing about the blog prompts is that you do them on a timely basis. They don't have to be great pieces of writing. I'm using these as a way to get you to think about the other writing assignments and reading assignments through writing as the semester goes along. So it's kind of like keeping a writing notebook or writing journal that's tied to the readings for the class. So the most important part of it is that you do them, and you do them on time and engage with the class. Most of the classes, of course, the writing projects, and there are essentially 4 major writing projects. The first essay we'll start talking about is using ancient Greek and Roman notions of style to examine YouTube commercials. Then we'll be doing a parody, imitation, remake of a style guide, sort of like remaking a version of Strunk and White's Elements of Style. There's going to be an essay examination about the style and genre of a particular blog that you decide to follow because you're interested in it. And the last assignment's actually a revision of one of the first 3 assignments based on some of the things we've talked about in the readings. We'll be using a lot of Google Docs for this. I explain all this in the syllabus, and we'll be talking about this as we go along. It's pretty straightforward. Many of you have already used Google Docs before, and those of you who haven't will find out that it's great. There's also a final for the class. The final is actually something that is tied to the teacher accreditation rule that this course has in the syllabus. But everybody needs to take it. The final is already available on the course website. It's a very sort of low stakes thing. As long as you get it finished, everything will be fine with that. In order to pass the course, you have to complete all the major assignments and the final. And you have to do it by the end of time for the course, which, as we'll see in the schedule, is on August 21st. Okay, so now I'm clicking on the schedule. I'm looking this on my computer, and just as an example here, today is July 1st, class begins, review the syllabus and schedule, and and you need to do all these different things in terms of sending me a link to, you got to finish the first 2 blog assignments, sending me a link to your WordPress account, and get started on the reading. And note you have to do all that by Wednesday. Okay, and even though July 4th is on Thursday, we still press on with stuff due on that Wednesday, July 3rd, and continue on July 5th. Okay, and again, it's a pretty aggressive schedule. You can think of Monday to Wednesday being like a week of a 15-week course, and Wednesday to Friday being like a week of a 15-week course. Like I said, it's accelerated. It's not half as much. Okay. I think that's enough to get started with it. Again, introduce yourself below, ask questions below, and I'm looking forward to getting started with 328 Online.